Are we live? I think we're live. Holy cow, the amount of comedy of errors this morning, but we finally got through the technological problems, it looks like, and we are live. If you're watching, please let me know in the chat if the video feed is coming through. Had some nasty Windows updates and took a long time and everything's running a little bit slower, so hopefully you guys can see me. Go ahead and get a tweet sent out and let everybody know that we are now live, and then we will get right into it. We will definitely have an appearance from my dog all day long. It seems like he got into my stash of crack, and he is, as the kids would say, on one this morning. So he will definitely be a co-host. Hey, Alex, thanks for joining in, man. I'm going to get the link out one more time, and then we will get right into the card. All right, guys. Well, we have a great card coming up today. As many people have pointed out on Twitter, I'm sure most of you have seen if you're in this stream and you're a college basketball enthusiast. This is the largest college basketball slate of all time. I believe there are 152 games, so it was really hard to siphon through the board and figure out which picks I like the best and make sure I had a concise card that was going to provide some winners for you guys. So out of the 152 odd games, I came up with a 10 play card. I love all 10 of these. And as always, I will get you guys out the best bet. Make sure you play that one. That's hitting at 65% this year and 64% all time. It is truly one of the best free bets out there in the market. First play of the day, we're going to get it started off at noon. It's going to be Texas minus 6.5. I know this may seem like a big number, especially with West Virginia's newfound form, but in all reality, they're still not good on the road. They only have the one win over Texas Tech on the road, and we all know how Texas Tech has fared in the Big 12 this year. They're the only team that's really gotten beaten down all year long. And Texas has been great at the Moody Center. They only have one loss in conference, and that was the 116-103 loss to Kansas State, which is truly an anomaly. 229 points, like that just doesn't happen. And I also think that West Virginia is going to have a lot of turnover problems. Texas can really heat you up in that building. And, Kedrian Johnson, Joe Toussaint, I just don't see them holding on to the ball too well. And the Mountaineers are way too reliant on Eric Stevenson right now. And that's just not susceptible to a road performance. And that's why we're seeing the big number of 6.5. Definitely recommend it there. Recommend it at 7. I think the Longhorns probably walk away with a double-digit victory in this one. Then moving along, we're going to go back to Northern Iowa this Saturday. We played them last Saturday in a similar spot where they were around a 3-point home underdog to a better team. Bradley hit 16 threes. What can you do? Vegas is on the same train as me with Northern Iowa. They have one of the best coaches in the conference in Ben Jacobson and the best point guard in Bowen Bourne. And they're going to knock off one of these teams in a home spot. As you can see with the line, they're a 3-point underdog with a losing record against a team coming in that's 17-9. That's pretty much telling you all you need to know there. The casual gambler is going to look at that game, see 17-9, only laying 3 points. They're going to take Indiana State. But we know that Ben Jacobson's a great coach and Bowen Bourne's an exceptional point guard, and that Northern Iowa does have a really good home court advantage. And they're going to pack a punch in one of these spots, and we're going to try it again today. Really love Northern Iowa. I think they're probably going to win that game. So if you have any kind of money line parlays, definitely throw that one in there. It'll be worth the value. Let me see where it's at. It's plus 130 on my book. Definitely recommend that. It looks like it's down to 2.5, but I would still play it. I think you're good playing this game at any number because, like I said, I think they'll win. Moving along, we're going to go to Omaha for Creighton and UConn. This is one of the biggest games of the day and a game that most people are going to be tuned into. And as Big Cat would say, it's a system play for him. It's a big game. He's going to be watching it, so he's going to play the over. Not so fast, my friend. We're going to be taking the under in this game. Both of these teams rank outside of the top 125 in pace, and they have also significantly slowed down in conference play. And if you look at the first meeting between these two teams, Ryan Kalkbrenner had a lot of problems with Adama Sanogo on the offensive end. He just could not get his looks, couldn't get his typical offensive rebound putbacks, and he was just really limited. And that forced, the Creighton guards to try to shoot over the lengthy UConn Huskies, and it just didn't work out well for them. They only scored 60 points. There is a heavy handle on this over today, and we're going to slide under 142.5. I would play that probably to 140. Obviously, you lose a ton of value there, but I do think that this game is under 140 points today. Now we're going to take a little break, see who's in the chat. Maybe if you guys got a few questions on some games that aren't on my card, I'll touch on them right now. And if they are on my card, I'll get to them in a little bit. So just please message me in the chat if you have any questions. If any aren't coming in, we'll move on to the next game. But just wanted to give a break and let you guys ask what you may need. And also, while we're doing this break, I'll go ahead and let you guys know that we still have the promo code with Shot Quality. That is one of the best sites in the market for data analytics. And they have their own proprietary software that dives deep into shot quality looks, and that's super important because the higher percentage looks you're getting, the more likely chance you're going to win the game. We still have 30% off there, promo code Sniper. And even if you're not signing up to just get free picks, their model has been exceptional this year and is up 170 some odd units. But even if you're not just going for the free picks, it's great for confirmation bias. That's what I use it for. When I go through the board, I find the picks that I like, and I'll go over to Shot Quality. And if they're in huge agreement with that play, I might add an extra half unit on it. And that's the best part about it is the confirmation bias. But also, the proprietary software of the Shot Quality Analytics are great. That's how you sniff out paper tiger teams. Are going to get to one we've been picking on a lot here in a little bit on another play. And, it's just a great website. So I would definitely use that promo code and get yourself signed up for 30% off. And that's for all packages. They have, different size packages for, whatever you may need. All right. First questions from Kevin. For the season as a whole, UNC, Duke, Kentucky all had high hopes in the preseason. Now, not so much. That's accurate. Which one of these teams is most likely to get back to the form and make some noise? I think the easy answer would be to say North Carolina, simply because they got to the championship game last year. But they do have, some. They're saying they don't have locker room things going on, but their play is showing otherwise. I think Duke's guard play is going to really let them down in the tournament. I don't really trust Roach and Proctor in high leverage situations. Seems like, in big games down the stretch, Jeremy Roach is always missing a free throw. And Proctor's just, hard to get a shot off. I'm going to say Kentucky, and I hate to say that because I think Coach Cal's an awful coach, but I really like their pieces in a tournament setting this year, especially with Case and Wallace running the point. It's just going to be, how much Cal holds them back. But I do think that they have the pieces out of those three to be the best team in the tournament. All right, we'll get going on some more plays. The fourth play of the day is North Carolina first half -3.5. I know I just said they had locker room stuff going on, but this is a perfect get right spot against the paper tiger that we keep picking on, Clemson. They were, overrated analytically. They still are a little bit, even though this line today is closer to what their actual power rating should be, with North Carolina being a 7-point favorite. I just don't trust North Carolina for the full game to lay the 7 points. But I do think that they're going to cover the 3.5 in the first half. I think the Smith Center will get behind them today. Baycott really got into the team after the last game and basically told them if they didn't want to be here, don't show up anymore. And as I've pointed out in the past, Clemson's shot quality record is diving drastically. They're about to be below 500. They're not as good as their record says they are. They're a decent team. They're just not a team that's going to go on the road and make a lot of noise in Chapel Hill, in my opinion. And then moving along, fifth play of the day, Auburn plus 2.5. This was close to a best bet, but I just couldn't pull the trigger on it being a best bet with Alabama being on the other side of the court. But this is one of the bigger rat lines of the season. Auburn has lost 4 or 5. They are unranked, and they're hosting the number 3 team in the country. And Bama's only favored by 2.5 points. That tells you all you need to know. Big reason for this is the home court advantage at Neville is real. The Auburn Tigers, are high flying, high intensity when they're behind that home court advantage. And I think they have the depth in the guard position and wing position to really heat up Bama and force some turnovers. And they have the athleticism to try to contain Brandon Miller. And also Bruce Pearl has had the edge over Nate Oates so far in this, early career for Oates at Alabama. Bruce Pearl swept both games last year. And I think all of that is factoring into why this line's 2.5 points today. I think Auburn can pull off the upset. Obviously, I'm playing it at 2.5. Even if they don't, you love having those 2.5 points in your back pocket. Then moving along to the sixth play of the day, I have Middle Tennessee State and UAB over 148.5. The Blazers run the 16th fastest offense in the country. And when Middle Tennessee State plays against UAB, they get caught up in this. The first game this season only ended on 132 points in regulation. But that was, due to UAB's poor shooting. They shot under 40% for that game. And they, through overtime, and I believe it was 25 free throws, they still got off 79 shot attempts. This game's going to be up and down today. There are going to be a lot of fouls, a lot of transition, a lot of points. And, it's always fun to pull for Jelly Walker with an over. And then we're going to get to Duke plus 6. I think that their size and athleticism could really bother UVA today. I don't think Duke's going to win this game, but I think that 6 points is too much in this matchup. And I especially want to look in the post. Shedrick is on a really downward trajectory. He's not even getting the same minutes that he used to for Tony Bennett, and that's a problem because they're undersized without him. Ben Vanderplas, undersized. Jalen Gardner, undersized. In Duke's front court, they can get after you. As you saw with that win over Carolina, they just completely overwhelmed the Heels with their size and athleticism with 11 blocks. And Derek Lively just continues to improve, and he's finally turning into that top recruit that a lot of people thought he could be. I think that he has a chance to, really, really make a stamp on this one today. Like I said, I think UVA wins a close one here, but 6 points is just too much. And now we're going to get to Santa Clara, which is my best bet of the day, minus 4.5. The other night we were heavily on the Lions of Loyola Marymount. They knocked off St. Mary's for us, but I think this is a really bad spot, especially coming off that win with a quick turnaround going to Santa Clara. They just simply do not have the defensive pieces to stop Keyshawn Justice and Pazimski. I think it could be a really tough night for them on the defensive end. And like I said, the spot is awful. Trying to, perform off of that win over St. Mary's and go into a Santa Clara team who is just overperforming this year and playing so well. I think the 4.5 is way too small in this matchup. I would have had it, over 7, honestly. I think Santa Clara is probably, 4 to 4.5 better on a neutral, and then you're given home court advantage. This is my, best bet of the day. Personally, I have 2 units on it. Definitely take that play. And then we're going to have San Diego plus 3.5. There is news on Twitter that Eric Williams has traveled with the team. He's a Pac-12 transfer from Oregon. He's a dominant player in this league when he's healthy. And the Toreros are a completely, obviously, different team when he's in the lineup. And I think he's going to be. I don't think he would have traveled if he wasn't playing. And then also, I just think that they have a huge backcourt edge with Sososo, Jawara, and Townsend. And I think, 3.5 is too much. I think it's already starting to come down a little bit. It's going to come down even more if Eric Williams is deemed active. So I definitely get that play in now if you think that's one you want to play. And then now I'm going to go back over to the chat and see what we got going on. Max Babcock, best prop play for the Super Bowl. I haven't really dove into those yet, simply because of how big the card was today. I wanted to make sure that I had, my guns firing on all cylinders today, but we'll definitely get into those. Daniel Schwartz is saying Pacheco over receiving yards. Don't hate that. One I've been thinking about, I haven't looked at the odds on it, but I think Patty Mahomes might throw an interception in this game. I think the Eagles, defensive front, they can get some pressure on the quarterback without blitzing, and I think they might have a chance to pick one off. Kevin Scola, what do we make of Auburn this season? Are they really in danger of missing the dance? I don't think they'll miss the dance. Like I said earlier, I think they're going to get a massive top 5 quad 1 win today over Alabama, and that will definitely catapult them safely into the field. I do have some question marks on if they can make a run in the tournament, but I do think that they're safely in the tournament. And also, guys, please post in the chat if you have questions on any other games, and I'll try to help you guys out. All right, Xavier Murray's Providence over St. John's. You definitely would think to lean the Friars in this spot. Let me pull that line up. I think it's 5 right now. Believe it's 5. But the Johnnies at home could pack a punch today. It just came out that they're going to back Anderson and keep him, and I think that could provide an emotional spark to this team, and that's why you're seeing this short spread. I would not put my money on St. John's, but I am a little scared of the short line there for sure. And I'm going to run through the card one more time. Might even just post it here in the chat for you guys, just so you can have everything concise and in the same spot. But we've got UConn and Creighton over. We've got Middle Tennessee State, UAB. Sorry, the Creighton-UConn game is under. Middle Tennessee State, UAB over. We got North Carolina minus 3.5 first half. Santa Clara minus 4.5, best bet. Auburn plus 2.5. Northern Iowa plus 3. Texas minus 6.5. San Diego plus 3.5. Duke plus 6. And there is one that I forgot. Glad that I ran back through this. The Kansas Jayhawks, I got it minus 3.5 yesterday. I think it's 3 this morning. This is obviously a rat line and a game that I would usually be riding with the Sooners. But I just don't – outside of that Alabama game, which I believe is boosting Oklahoma in this market, they've honestly just gotten destroyed these last few games in the Big 12. And I really rate Kansas. I think they're a phenomenal team. Grady Dick finally got going last game. They had some phenomenal bench minutes from Joseph Yesufu, which is going to be huge for them at the guard position. And there's just no one on Oklahoma to stop Jalen Wilson, plain and simple. So, if it's rat poison, I'm taking it today. Okay, Daniel Schwartz, please comment on the battle taking place in Oxford, Mississippi today. Oh boy. Well, to be truthful with you, I lean the Gamecocks. It's not a homer play. I just don't think that Mississippi should be laying 9 points to anybody. That team is dreadful. But we know South Carolina has had, the susceptibility to getting blown out in the SEC this season. I'm not going to put my money behind them, but I would definitely lean the Gamecocks getting the 9 points. All right, we're going to Gordon. 3 to 5 team parlay if you had to take one. All right, let's get the card pulled back up and see if I can do this on the fly. I might even take this one with you, Gordon. Let's see here. Definitely Santa Clara. We'd have that in the parlay. Northern Iowa +3 or the money line +130 if you want to get frisky. Let's see. Texas minus the 6.5. I think they're gonna blow out West Virginia today. San Diego plus the 3.5. And let's throw the Middle Tennessee State UAB over 148.5 as well. Those would be my 5 best plays. Any more prop plays in the future from Kevin Scola? Yes. Right when I jump off this live, I'm going to get in the lab and try to put one together for today. They all weren't out earlier, so I couldn't get them ready for this live show. But definitely we'll get one out there for you guys today. Probably try to keep it in the plus 500 to plus 600 range, just to make sure we have a solid chance to cash. My co-host has decided to join me. This is Archie. Say hey to the people, bud. Max Babcock, those plus 600 prop parlays cash plays hit different. Yes, they do, Max. Yes, they do. I might even throw a full unit on it today. We'll go ahead and run through the card one more time. I'll get it posted in a tweet as well. UConn Creighton under 142.5. Middle Tennessee State UAB over 148.5. North Carolina minus 3.5 first half. Santa Clara best bet minus 4.5. Auburn plus 2.5. Northern Iowa plus 3. Texas minus 6.5. Kansas minus 3.5. San Diego plus 3.5 and Duke plus 6. Thank you all for joining the live today. It was fun. Enjoyed chatting with you guys, and it made it for a more fun experience. Hopefully we can do these more in the future and continue to grow the community so we can have more fun on these. And hopefully I can figure out a way to stream and get some of you guys to join in live. That would be fun to have you guys on camera talking with me. But I think I need to look into that. Let's have a day. Let's snipe these. And thank you guys so much for the support.